Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. And I'm saying welcome back also to myself because it has been a while since the last time I updated anything on my channel, except for one ecstatic dance set, which I will talk about in a few moments. Um, it's been, and it's still going on, it's a very big journey for me. And I had some experiences and some things that I had to deal with. Not bad things, all good, which caused me to not update anything on my channel. But finally, I have some time to do it, and I will try to do it more often. Um, and also, there's a little treat for you at the end of this video, so stay tuned and let's begin. Well, as you know, the last time I updated this channel, I was in Arambol, in the state of Goa in India. Since then, I've been moving a lot and having many experiences, interesting experiences. After Goa, after Arambol, I moved to Kudli Beach, which is next to Gokarna in the state of Karnataka. I stayed at the Uma Garden guest house, which is home, for lack of a better word. It really felt like home. That's why I stayed there for over a month. I stayed there for 10 days and then I hopped to a visit in the state of Kerala. I was in Cochin for a couple of days and then in Kumarakom and then Munnar. And the person that I was traveling with caused me an energy drain, and there was a complete synchronization between us, between our energies, and it made me actually ill, physically ill. And so I had to bail and I went back to Kudli Beach for about a month or so. In Kudli Beach, I had neighbors also before I left for Kerala, and they were there also after. And we were together for almost a whole month, actually a little more than a whole month. They became my local family. Shout out Rade and Rai and Kripa. It was very nice, and I will visit them again in their home, which is in Mayapur, Bengal. In Kudli Beach, I got the sense of something I want to do. Something came up, like an advertisement on Facebook that keeps popping up, and I saw it in many places, and I decided to take it. Was an advertisement for a 7 days ecstatic dance DJ, and I said, I'm taking it. Why not? 7 days, not too expensive. I'm taking it. It was an online course, which was, of course, pre-recorded, so it's not something live. So the 7 days course I did in 2 days, just sat and drank the whole information, and that taught me. I learned from that the basics of ecstatic dance. I started to build a set, and I built one that I was satisfied with and really happy with. And in an impulse buy, I actually bought a DJ controller. I was afraid to do this because usually DJ controllers are much bigger than this one, and it's another something to carry, and I am traveling. I didn't want this burden, but I found this little controller, very portable, very small, very light, but still very good quality. And I actually used it. Oh yeah, in Kudli, in Uma Garden, I actually played my very first ecstatic dance set, and it was amazing. It was not as I expected, but that was due to not so good advertisement, which I did all on my own, and also it was the beginning of the off season, so not many people, but it still was good. People enjoyed themselves, and I enjoyed myself, and I actually managed to hop over this hurdle of performing for people. After I did that, I felt confident, I felt good. People told me that it was good, they enjoyed it. So I was ecstatic. Anyway, after I did that, I continued um, from Kudli beach to Hampi, which is also in Karnataka. It is the birthplace of Hanuman, the monkey god. Um, I was there for about a week, and I went on. There are two major hills that are known for their uniqueness. One of them is Matanga Hill, which I climbed up, and at the top there's like a temple, and it has the most beautiful sunsets I've ever seen. I'll probably upload some pictures here. It also has beautiful sunrises, but I came only in sunset time, so I took pictures of sunset. And the other hill is the birthplace of Hanuman. You climb up about 600 stairs, and you reach the Hanuman temple, which is where Hanuman, according to the myth, was born. Also there, beautiful sunset, amazing, and monkeys, lots of monkeys, very friendly, not like the ones in the city that are a little more naughty. The monkeys on that hill, the top, especially where the temple is, are very friendly. I have a picture of one on my shoulder that just climbed on my shoulder without me asking it to do it or something like that. And that photo was taken by a friend of mine, and that's why it was so fast. We didn't manage to take more photos. That's why that photo, which I will upload here as well, looks a little bit weird. But there was a point where two of them were on my shoulders, playing on my head, on my back, just running around. It was really, really fun and interesting. On both hills, I meditated at the top for a while and had some interesting realizations. Um, and yeah, it was a very spiritual place. That was actually the beginning of my actual spiritual journey. And because until then, I was in a journey, but also spiritual, but more of chill, especially Kudli Beach. I was chill, was just taking it all in, getting used to being in India. Um, and then I continued on. So Hampi, I was there for about a week, and then I moved on to Tiruvannamalai. Try to say that 3 times in a row fast. It took me a while to say it correctly. Tiruvannamalai is a very sacred city. It has the Ramana Maharishi ashram, which I went in, and I sat there during their reading of the Vedas. It was an amazing experience. I was just sitting like that, closing my eyes and listening to the Vedas, and it's split to men and women. No separation, no real separation. Just one side is women, one side is men, and the front rows were actually reading the Vedas out loud in kind of a melodic way, you might say, like almost singing it. And it was um, the women read one line and the men read the next line, and women again, and men, one by one. And it sounded more like a conversation. It sounded like the women say something, the men answer, and then say something back, and the women answer and say something back. And at the end of it, they were all singing together. And it was an incredible experience. I also, after that, went to a smaller hall, which called the meditation hall, which is it's a smaller room, more quiet. You go in there, you sit, you meditate. I did that. It was amazing. The whole town, Tiruvannamalai, is built around a mountain, which is called Aranchala. This one, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing correct. But there is a tradition of walking around the mountain, all around it, circling the entire mountain. It's about 14 something kilometers, and it takes 4, 5, 6 hours depending on your walking rhythm. It's best to do it slowly, to just walk like meditatively. I didn't do it. I didn't get the time. I was there only for a week, and I didn't get the chance to do it. But I will come back there and do it. In Tiruvannamalai, I also had an interesting encounter with myself. There was a coffee shop. Everywhere I'm going in India, I'm looking for good coffee because that's the Western part of me that is still earthy and materialistic and wants good coffee for the morning coffee. So I'm always looking, and I found a place that's called Inner Child Cafe, and it was told that it has the best coffee, and indeed it did. And every morning I went to that coffee shop. Now the interesting thing is, two of them happened to me in that coffee shop. First of all, it's on a rooftop, so I climb upstairs to get to the roof, and every few staircases, you have like a writing on the wall that is kind of a conversation with your inner child. And this is interesting because I am dealing with my inner child throughout this whole trip journey. And the last one really hit hard. I will put a picture here of it also, and of the rest of them, but especially that one. I'll put it right here, and you can read it and see that why it hit so hard. If you remember one of my first videos when I was talking about the festival, I was talking about experiencing in a meditation that I found out loneliness, and that is just hit hard. And then every morning when I sit there, and I'm not talking about early in the morning, I'm talking about 9:30, 10 a.m. Not early, it's already day. So every day that I was there and that I arrived there, huge, I don't know how to call it, flock, not flock, but like huge group of bats, and huge bats also, hundreds of them circling above the trees, right next to the coffee shop, and really hundreds of them. And every day that when I finished my breakfast and my coffee and went to pay, they disappeared, just weren't there. And in one of the days that I left, I suddenly noticed something that I didn't notice before, and it was only after I realized that the bats are signaling something to me. It's a sign. And I read a little bit about bats, and I realized how it's connected to me and my journey. And so a few days after that, after I read that, in investigated it a little bit, what's the meaning of it, I noticed it's a book rack, like a couple of shelves, which didn't have books. I always noticed the one on my right, which had books, and this one on my left, I never noticed it when I walked out of the coffee shop. And there was one time that I finally noticed it. And in that bookshelf, in the middle shelf, there were cards, like tarot cards, but not really. They're called power animal cards. And you're supposed to like pick one card, and that card, the animal on that card is your power animal, and it says what it means, etc. But on that same shelf, there was bigger cards, like postcards almost. And the one on top, the most obvious of them all, was a bat. So I picked it up and I read, and I will put the picture of both of the postcard itself and what it says, and you can pause it to read it and understand what I mean. So I had that, and yeah, it was a very spiritual place. I went to meditate in the ashram a couple of times, and it was really like Hampi. The spirituality, the energies there are so intense. It was very strong, very intense, but good intense, not like bad, like always like this. It's good intense, spiritually intense. Anywho, after Tiruvannamalai, I continued on to Auroville. Auroville, if you don't know, it's like a community, like an eco community, self-sustaining community. It's a mixed community also, people from all over the world, not only locals. And it was really interesting being there. I was there for about 2 weeks. And they have the Matri Mandir, which is a huge sphere, golden sphere, huge building size, in the middle, the heart of Auroville. And in the middle of that sphere, there is a hall that is called the concentration hall. Hall, Hall. And it's very special because it's very quiet. You're not allowed to make any sound. They actually write it everywhere that if you feel that you need to sneeze or cough, leave that hall. Incredible. No lights, only natural light, kind of. It's basically, there's a mirror on the top of the sphere that is following the sun, and it reflects through a system of mirrors the sunlight into a beam from the ceiling that goes directly into a giant crystal ball about this big, maybe more, I'm not sure, about this big. Clear crystal ball. The sunlight drops on this, and this is making the light in this hall. The whole place is white. Everything is white. The cushions that you sit on, the walls, the pillars, the floor, the ceiling, everything is white. You even get you take your shoes or sandals, whatever you're wearing outside. You're not allowed to come in barefoot. You need to come to a certain point with your shoes on, and from that point you go barefoot, and then they give you white socks to put on your feet, and only that way you go in. And you, of course, you deposit your phone, your wallet, everything. You're not taking with you anything in there. No distractions, nothing. And it's surrounded by huge gardens, very interesting. And the way to that hall is in a spiral, and it works like this. That when the first group was done. You sit in that hole for about 20 minutes, and then you need to get out. And it's a group of people usually, and it's only on certain days. You need to book it in advance because otherwise you can't go just in as you wish. And so they time it that one group has finished, so they leave from one side and the other group go in from the other side, and it's a spiral, and it's really cool. You can see that people go out and down in a spiral, and you go on the opposite, in the same direction, but on the other side also in a spiral, and it's really cool and very powerful to see that and to be in it, in that flow. And you go in, you sit, you need to concentrate. I unfortunately was not able to concentrate almost at all. I did have some moments of pure concentration, but I did not have full concentration. My head was rushing, my thoughts were running around. And that's something I need to work on. But it was still a very intense experience. After that, I left, and after our group left, and I walked around the garden and sat next to a huge banyan tree, which is considered to be the actual heart and center of Auroville. The sphere is just a little bit off. I sat there, I meditated there. Next, I was leaning on it, sitting on the ground. Incredible experience. And in Auroville, I reached a realization that I want to stay in India, to live in India. How I will make money, that will come at the end of the video. Anyway, I've been there. I also had another experience which is a little more personal. I might elaborate on that on a different video. It connects to Tiruvannamalai, which I came from. It's really interesting way that the universe is working. I'll elaborate in a different video. But I reached the realization that I want to stay in India and not go back home. And I already got like a plan of how I'm going to do that. More on that in the end of the video. From Auroville, I flew to Nepal, which is where I am now actually. This is my room in Nepal, in Bagnastal, which is Bagnas Lake near Gokarna. And I realized that Tal in Nepali is lake, and Tal in Hebrew is morning dew. So both are water flow, and Tal in Hindu is rhythm. So DJ Tal-chemy, welcome to the world. It fits perfectly. And it was a really great realization. And I'm here in Nepal now. I'm going to stay here for about a month. I'm already here a few days. And from here, I'm going back to North India. First, I'm going to visit my local family, and they're from Mayapur, which is in Bengal. Mayapur is the center of the Hare Krishnas. So I'm going to visit them, and then I'm going to be northwest of India, Rishikesh, Dharamsala, Dharamkot, things like that. And still don't have a plan exactly. And this is it. And now for the jewel. I'm planning to open a new thing. I don't know even how to call it yet properly. First, it will be also guided meditations that I will do live. it can be sessions like private sessions or group sessions uh, in flesh, as they say, or could be also online via Zoom, Google Meet, whatever. And I will want, well, the first few will be, of course, free just to see how it goes. And then I will start charging, but also about $10-12 per session, not something that is not, if it's a group, then maybe I'll take $5 per person for the session. So like, it will be limited for a few people, just a few people. So it won't be too crowded. So there is that, guided meditations, that I know how to call that. And also I'm planning on, and this is the part that I don't know how to call it, hold space for people that need to breathe for a moment. Of course, it will all about the meditations, and this space holding will be accompanied with music that I will play in my DJ set. Some tracks that I will create myself, and some tracks that are already existing. Some of them from my sets, and some of them that I made completely new. By the way, I have already like 4 sets ready, including the one that I already played, so 3 new ones. And also I'm going to play here in Nepal. I already have someone to talk to that I need to talk to tomorrow, which I will play here in Nepal at least once, maybe more. And so making a name out of myself a little bit for myself. And so this is like private sessions or group sessions for holding space for people that needs to unwind, they're overwhelmed and they need some space to just open up or even do nothing, just be there and have someone to listen to them. So this is one thing. And the guided meditations, it will be about the same pricing, I presume. I can do that live, I can do that online, and this will be great. And I will think of a concept and of a way to do it for you. I will do like, I guess, 10 sessions, 10, I don't know. I will do like a few sessions for free, and so you can experience that. The first few that will register will get it for free. I don't know exactly how many and how much I will take after that, but it's more for getting a name for myself and people to experience it and pass it on to people who might need it and want it and will be willing to pay for it. So this is one source of income. And of course, the DJ is also like once a week play somewhere. And India and Nepal are great places to play ecstatic dance. So yeah, if you are interested in that kind of thing, write in the comments. And also, of course, if you like my content, I promise this time I will post more content. I will post also new meditations. I will post new breath work maybe, and new guidance to spirituality in the everyday like I had before. I will do more of that very soon. I promise, much sooner than it took me to do this one. And so please, if you like this content, like, subscribe, and push the bell to get notifications about new content. And I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.